All right, now I have my scarecrow's head glued on, the body, and the arms, and these are supposed to be the fingers. So now I'm going to work on the face of the scarecrow. So you can use whatever you have. It could be pattern paper. I have a little piece of fabric here. And the noses, if you look at the example, are all different. Some are triangles, some are rectangles, some are just kind of an odd shape. I think maybe I will do a triangle. It's got to be a little bit smaller than that. And then for the eyes, I'm going to fold this paper in half and cut out a circle so that I can get two circles that are the same size. And I have some buttons for eyes. You can make buttons out of paper instead of having real buttons, but I have real buttons at home, so I'm just going to use them. And then a mouth. All right, so this is going to be my scarecrow's face. If you look at the example, there's also stitching around the eyes. So after this is dry, I can put some stitching around the eyes, the nose, and the mouth is stitched on too. The mouth is just drawn with a brown crayon and stitching, and I will show you that in just a minute. But it's probably best to let all of this dry before you start drawing on top of it. Nope. It's a little bit harder to stick down on the paper when it's like crumpled up a little bit. You don't want to put your eyes too high because remember we're going to be adding a hat to this too. So for buttons, I like to put the glue directly on the paper since it's a little bit harder to, you need kind of a lot of glue to glue down something like that. There. Okay. So I'm going to let this dry and then I will add either with a crayon or with a colored pencil, whichever one works better, kind of a brown color. I'm going to add some stitching and a face, and then I'll use like some crayon to make some rosy cheeks on mine. That's optional, but that's what I'm going to do with mine. Alright, so I have finished adding the stitching on here. I think it turned out pretty cute. I added some rosy cheeks on there. Hopefully you can see that really well. Let's see. Bring it up a little bit closer so you can see the details. I might want to make it a little bit darker. I will see what happens. You can always rework things. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is create the shirt or whatever. One of the examples, it's like the second one, it's the scarecrow and she's got like an orange dress on. I think that is so cute. So I am kind of doing that. So what I'm doing for my shirt is I just took a piece of construction paper that I had. It's just a scrap and I folded it in half because I wanted to make it the same on both sides. So I put it halfway on my scarecrow and I drew it. And I'm going to cut it out so when I open it up it's going to be the same on both sides. If you don't have construction paper, I see quite a few of these on here are actually, not quite a few, one of them is just colored plain paper. So use plain paper or construction paper, whatever you have, and you can color. If it's plain paper, you can just color it. And that works just fine. So this one, I'm going to add some patterns to it with, I think, a crayon. A lot of these shirts and stuff have patchwork patches on them, and I kind of wanted to do that too, so we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be a little bit long. Yeah, it's a little bit long, that's okay. And then just fold it there so I know kind of where to cut it. All right, and so here is, this is more of a dress than a shirt. Oop, let's see, I'm gonna have to put it down a little bit lower in order for it to fit. it's got to fit on these arms. Here we go, just like that. So I'm going to get this glued on. Remember, glue around the outside edge only. That's all you need. All right, and there is my Scarecrow's dress. Now I'm going to continue by adding some different details. Let's see. So now you can work on the hat. I think that the hats are so cute. They look like they might be made with burlap, but you can use whatever kind of paper you have. You could even put something underneath it and rub your crayon on it to create some texture. You could do that with your shirt too. Oh, you know what I was going to say? I kind of messed this up. What I was going to have us do, I'm not going to be able to do it now, was to crinkle this paper up too, but that's okay. You can, or you can if you want to, but I didn't do that, so I made that mistake. And we also need to make a neck scarf for our Scarecrow. So it's like a little bandana. So you can either find fabric or scrapbook paper or construction paper and add a bandana and add some more details to this. So I will be right back with some more stuff to add to it. All right, so what I've been doing is playing around with some different fabrics and things like that. I added some white colored pencil to my dress. I'm kind of looking at the example of the girl in the orange dress. I liked that one, so I wanted to kind of use some of the details. So what I did was I cut out a scarf. It's basically just like a triangle, and there's like a little piece that's where it's tied at, and then I'm kind of trying to lay these things out. The girl had a sash on her dress, so I decided to do that. Like I said, you don't have to have fabric. You could use pattern paper, or you could simply draw your own patterns on regular paper and use that. So we're going to add some details. You could do some patchworks. I do have these could be like little pockets or little patches on her dress. So I got one for there. Another one. Right there. I better glue this on. Like if you're using fabric, the glue kind of soaks through, so you have to be careful. Still only need some little dots. You don't want to soak it so much. And sometimes you have to hold it down for a minute to get it to stick well. And it's okay if it looks a little bit wrinkly, because guess what? That's just giving us a little texture, which is what we're after anyways, right? Okay. I think I was going to put this right there. And then this hat, I actually had a roll of ribbon. Oh, and I also have to think about the hair before I glue that on. But anyways, this hat, I'm going to wait to glue this on because I want to put the hair on first. But this hat was a thick thing of ribbon, and I just folded it in half and cut it in kind of a shape of a hat. I kind of looked at the example. I'm going to glue this band on, and then this was some of this kind of fabric. I just cut out some of the flowers so I could add those to the headband, and then I drew a bird. I'm gonna draw his legs with colored pencil, but I'm gonna put the bird on here. If you look at the example, there's a really cute one there's a bird on the hat, and then there's like some little babies, like a nest inside of the hat of the Scarecrow. That's really cute. Another one has a butterfly on the hat. So make sure you're looking at the examples so you can get an idea of what you could do for details, because we're using those pictures not to copy but as like an inspiration for our work. So I'm going to make him like he's or she is standing on the scarecrow. Scarecrow must not be doing a very good job if it's not scaring the bird away, right? That's okay. So for the hair, I am going to find, I don't know, some sort of paper or something like that. Glue some hair on and glue the hat on, and then I will be back to show you the finishing piece. All right, so this is the finished piece. I found some yarn to glue on for hair. It doesn't really matter what color it is. I glued the hat on top of it. It's a little bit, it stands out a little bit, but that's okay. Look at all the texture that we have created in this piece from the fabric, and this is like a little burlap from the wrinkled paper bag, and texture in the background. So there's all kinds of implied and actual texture. I think they are so cute. I cannot wait to see how yours turn out.